Big meeting today, big press conference anyway. The city of Montreal getting together and deciding that, it's time to do something about the metro. And when I say about the metro, not about how it's running, but in terms of the people who unfortunately find themselves in situations where that becomes their resting place. For some, it's every day. For others, it's every now and then. And I guess, the issue here for me is we need a solution for people who say they don't feel safe in the metro. But is the solution simply saying we're not going to let people spend any time in here? We're going to kick them all out of here. Where are they going to go? I don't know. I don't know what solution there is here. So I wanted to check with James Hughes. He is CEO of the Old Brewery Mission. Jim, thanks for being here. I appreciate your time. This is one of those stories where, I know we had people calling over the last couple of weeks saying, yes, they don't feel safe in the metro. There's a problem. There's syringes. Now they want to put in places where syringes could be basically deposited. Where is the solution here? Certainly as far as just the metro is concerned. Is there a simple one as far as you're concerned?
No, it's definitely not. Absolutely one we have to deal with. It's an everyday occurrence now. I use the metro as well. I see the increase number of people who are actually there and sleeping, trying to get out of the way. As you said off the top, it's exactly what's going on. It's people with no other place to go, and now the policy that we're now seeing being put into place is simply to say get out. I know it's more complicated than that. Is for me, really, really tough to hear because they have no other place to go.
Yeah.
We're just displacing the issue somewhere else. The answer is really to do a number of things at the same time. And everybody knows that. And this is the other part of the complicating issue is that we need short-term facilities for people to go so we can actually invite them to leave the metro system into a place of safety that's inside with professional support. We need more housing for them to go into permanently, which settles the issue completely. There's no problems of cohabitation if people are housed. We need to transport people there. The STM could be a wonderful partner in doing that. But all of that takes a lot of money, a lot of investment, and a lot of time, and no one seems to be ready to lead that charge. But we have to, or else we'll just continue to see the increase of these collisions of homeless people and people using parks and emergency rooms and the Palais de Congrès and the STM like we're seeing today.
So the idea, again, of there not being a one-size-fits-all solution here, but you're right, it does point to the same problems again, right? It's not doing enough about the fact that we recognize that this is a problem and only getting worse. More and more people find themselves in a situation like this. I was under the impression there is money for this, and money's been set aside for housing like this. So why isn't it getting done, or am I just wrong in saying that the money is there and it's not being properly used?
No, you're right. Things are getting done. You see announcements of housing projects. They're being announced all the time, and credit to the governments for funding those. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, there'll be announcements on new emergency services. So, modular units that are coming up. That's wonderful, very innovative. It's really good, including for people who are using the metro systems or in encampments. So we're starting that process of innovating. But the problem is it's not enough. The volume of people that are homeless today is just gone up multiple fold. We're actually doing another street count now, and so we're expecting the numbers to be up even higher than what people know they are minimum today. Tonight there'll be 5,000 people that are homeless. We think there's probably a lot more. So we need to have answers at that level of need. So we have to invest much more ambitiously than we are now, which is in the hundreds of units of housing. We need thousands of units of housing. And we can do that with the federal and provincial government support.
Can we?
That can be done. I absolutely believe it can be done. Other cities have done it. Helsinki has done it. We can do it. Houston has had amazing success in reducing the number of people in encampments. 25% of Canadian cities have homelessness protocols for people living outside, including people living in metro systems. Montreal had a committee. I was part of it last year that made a wonderful set of recommendations on how to go about this. This city has those recommendations. It's not doing anything with them. So I'm getting frustrated kind of repeating some of these messages, but this reaction of just doing something really simple, such as please leave, as the only thing that we're doing at scale is just...
Did we lose Jim? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, I'm sorry. You cut off right at the end. I want to go back to something you just said. See, I find this interesting from the point of view of when we look at situations in Montreal, sometimes, we tend to do this with with sort of a narrow view, if you will. But we realize, and I said this off the top, we're not the only city to be dealing with issues like these. So you mentioned Helsinki, for example, and Houston. We look at other cities. We know that there are better ways to do this. Are we not taking lessons from those cities?
No, I don't think we are nearly to the extent that we should. In Montreal, about 5% of our rental housing stock is truly affordable and protected from renovictions, whereas in places like Helsinki, it's 20%. So really, we have this homelessness crisis, which is causing, if you will, a cohabitation problem at scale in places like the Metro because of a housing crisis. That's where it all goes back to. So we really have to target a huge increase in the number of deeply affordable housing units. That's really at the core of all this. The Canadian National Housing Council just announced exactly that we're over across Canada, it's 3.5% is the number, and that should be doubled in the next 10 years. So we have to make those kinds of commitments over time, and in the short term, really think about STMs, metro stations, as not being the right place. That's absolutely true. It's not the right place to support people, but think of increasing the number of professional, dignified, humane, and professionally organized services. Old Brewery, we offer these kinds of things. We just
Well, what's your concern? What's your concern here with these new measures that the Metro is going to adopt? And I know as well, I read this and I was not aware of this. They sometimes will have spare clothes for people who find themselves in a situation there, which is great. What happens now, do you think? And is this your concern to the people who are now going to be forced out of there?
Yeah, I'm worried for them, absolutely. And most of them are just trying to get out of the way. They're trying to have some sleep. They're really trying to just get through the day, just survive. Yeah. And these measures that are forcing people to circulate, that's how I read it. You have to be in movement, or else you can't sit down, you can't put your hand out and ask for help. You're going to be invited to leave under those circumstances. Is that really where we got to? And, if people are not in the way, who are not making trouble, if people are making trouble, if there's criminal acts going on, those should be addressed in the normal course. There's no question about it. But people who are, as I say, which is the great majority, who are just trying to get out of the way, really, until we have a better alternative, shouldn't we let them just stay there? That's, I think, a really fair question.
To your point, by the way, we know that municipal, provincial, federal governments, yes, they acknowledge there's a problem. Yes, there's been money set aside, as you just said. But the question, I guess, is, do they understand the magnitude of the problem? You talked about thousands as opposed to hundreds. Is that where the disconnect is here?
Yes, it's a volume issue. It's money is coming out the door. There is more money around, but there's way more homeless people than we've ever seen before, and the need is really great. I mean, we're talking about the issue of economic homelessness now. People who just don't have enough money to pay the huge increases in rents that we're seeing in the city of Montreal. That's a whole new phenomenon over the course of the last 5 years. And so we need rental assistance and other prevention measures, that is homelessness prevention measures, so people can keep their apartments and not be forced out to try to find another apartment, which in the past they were able to find, but they can't find today. It's a real struggle.
Just as a final question, because I'm going to run out of time, maybe this is unfair, but were you or Sam Watts approached by the city, by the Metro, by police to get involved in this press conference this morning at all?
No, they invited us to have a chat in the preparation of their brief for the public consultation on cohabitation, which we appreciated very much. I'm not surprised, and I totally understand that the Metro system, the STM, feels that they have to do something to increase public security. That sense of I'm not in danger. I totally get that. That's totally legitimate. I just worry that this action that they've taken, this first action that they've taken, without thinking of the bigger issues and the implications of this, is not the right first step. Maybe it's the right step later on, once we've got more services available. But, as I say, I'm just nervous. Where are these people going to go, and where are they going to get support, and are we going to really increase our problems elsewhere?
James Hughes, CEO of the Old Brewery Mission, thanks so much for your time. Always appreciate it.
Thanks, Aaron.